I bet with Interbet only. They're a fantastic site. I've never had any issues with them. They are very professional. There's never a problem. You deposit money, 2 seconds later it's in your account. You withdraw, which I do very occasionally, and I believe it's also 2 seconds it's in your account.
Stepping up the gas on race number 3, which will be contested over a distance of 1,600 meters. And when you look at race number 3, this will be Jackpot 1, Leg 1, being a 7-race program. So to continue to remember that it's a 7-race program, so you don't get left in the dark. When it comes to the anti-post betting, number 7, Nazare is 5-2, number 4, Rodriguez at 3-1, 33-10, number 10, Exceed Expectation, and then 7-1 about number 2, Action Stations, and 9, Famous and Rich. Now when it comes to race number 3, last time out I tipped number 9, Famous and Rich, as one of the value bets on the day. Moved up very dangerously at the top of the straight and then just lacked extra that last 200 meters. Dropping down to the mile 7 days later, is currently at 7-1, and I believe the 1,600 is going to be the winning formula. I said straight after that race, next time he runs, and he runs in a mile hill, I'm going to be with him. And it's quite interesting to note, okay, it's only 1 point. His new rating is a 73 in the weights coming up for next weekend, but he races with a 74, but it's only a half a kg. I don't think it'll make much of a difference. The fact that they've backed him up so quickly, he's taken the run very well.
Yeah, he must have, definitely. And last time out, I just thought he was doing a bit too much out in front. He was cutting throats with one of the runners that decided to go around him, and at the top of the lane, he, as you mentioned, he did move up, but I think his race was pretty much over there. And Warrior Bling won quite comfortably. Could have probably won even further if he had liked. But obviously, Famous and Rich, he has to be respected given what he's taken on. And he's a horse that should run well. Number 2, Action Stations from the Paul Lafty yard. Now, this horse at around 7-1 in the market, I think could run a decent race. He's down in class on his last couple of starts. He's got a good draw, polytrack, course and distance suits, and Rachel Vinegar rides. He's on a mark of 72. I can see this horse being competitive in a race of this nature. His last win came over track and trip in a merit-rated 74 handicap, so a similar type of race where he beat Wave Warrior. So I believe that he could make his presence felt in quite a big way. Number 10, Exceed Expectation. Now, despite him being under sufferance in this contest, he's a few kgs under sufferance. He's quite an honest sort, and he always keeps you interested. He ran a decent third last time out behind English Primrose, and this horse, if things map out correctly for him with the right run in transit, he could certainly be a horse that could go well in this contest. But I think there's a few horses in with chances. Obviously, we both haven't mentioned number 7, Nazare, who is down in class, but I'm not sure about the mile. I know his last 2 starts, he's run third, but he hasn't really seemed to finish off his race over a mile. He just sort of stays on at the 1 pace. So I'm not convinced whether the 1,600 meters is ideal for him.
Yes, that is obviously a little bit of a concern. He's had the 2 runs for the 2 third placings over the distance. Seems to be very effective up to the 1,400. So let's see how he goes. And then number 4, Rodriguez, the opposite side of the coin, dropping in distance after beating Papa C last time out. Yeah,
quite interesting, because I would have probably thought you'd keep him over a similar trip, but dropping in trip, decent draw, he's in form, and he only went up 2 points, so he's a runner that has to be given healthy respect at around 3-1 in the mark. So quite a competitive race here, and in terms of the pick 6, I think the guys would probably want to include a few.
Yes, 100% right. Once you start dissecting and going through the runners, at first glance you look 1, 2, 3 horses, and then when you really dig deep into it, you got to go as wide as your budget will allow. A horse like number 3, Starry Winter Night, just having a look, was chalked up a 90 earlier on, but you can see he just totally lost the form and obviously had some serious issues back home. So race number 3 over the 1,600 meter trip, number 9, Famous and Rich. I think the distance is going to really suit this individual, but when you dissect the form lines, throw in at least 4 or 5 runners and even a little bit more if your budget will allow.
My name's Danny Diliberto, founder of Ladles of Love. It was founded back in 2014. Communities we work with are all over the peninsula, and we're working with 138 beneficiaries now. We've grown exponentially. We've been able to do that because of all the kindness that we have experienced from individuals and corporates such as Interbet, who just want to be part of the change.